Nutrition is one of the most powerful tools we have for health, yet it's rarely discussed in a meaningful way inside the medical system. Most doctors simply weren't trained in it. And while dietitians are valuable, many are required to operate within guidelines that don't always account for individuality, mineral statuses, hormones, or chronic stress. This podcast isn't about rejecting medicine. It's about remembering that food is a form of medicine too. My hope is that you will feel more confident, more curious, and more connected to yourself and your plate because your body is listening. Hi, welcome to the Lifestyle Herbalist, the podcast where holistic wellness meets everyday living. I'm your host, Dabney-BS. I'm a registered dental hygienist, a clinical herbalist, and a certified health coach.
And I'm your co-host, Sabrina Cooper, a registered dental hygienist with a bachelor's in oral health promotion, a certified culinary nutritionist and herbalist, and a mindfulness and mindful eating coach. Together, we explore the intersection of holistic health, herbal wisdom, and joyful living. From plant-powered remedies to kitchen medicine, mindful moments, and conversations that feed the soul, we're here to help you feel vibrant, grounded, and inspired in your daily life. So steep a cup of something soothing, settle in, and let's grow well together one episode at a time, bringing you a healthy dose of happiness.
Hey, welcome back to the Lifestyle Herbalist. I'm Dabney, and today I want to start talking about nutrition and the food on our plate. And I want to start with one simple question. How do we get so far away from food as medicine? If you've ever sat in the doctor's office with a chronic symptom, fatigue, digestive issues, a hormonal imbalance, or inflammation, but then you walked out with a prescription but no conversation about what you ate every single day, you're not just imagining things. You see, nutrition was never meant to be the foundation of Western medicine, and once you understand the history, it makes a lot more sense why it still isn't. This episode isn't about blaming doctors or rejecting modern medicine because, truthfully, I'm very happy that we have modern medicine. If I have an acute illness or I have an accident or something is broken, I'm going to go see a doctor. This really is about understanding the system we inherited and why reclaiming nutrition is one of the most important things you can do for your health. You see, for most of human history, medicine was our food, our herbs, and our lifestyle. Because we didn't have things like urgent care centers, doctors' offices, pharmacies, drugstores, or hospitals. Healing traditions around the world were Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, indigenous herbalism, European folk medicine. These traditions understood something more fundamental, that the body responds to what it is repeatedly exposed to. Let me say that again. The body responds to what it is repeatedly exposed to. So things like food, plants, minerals, sunlight, rest. Yes, rest. These are the tools of medicine, and doctors were trained observers. They looked at the digestive system, the energy levels, elimination. What's the mood been like? And what has the patterns been over time? Even in early Western medicine, physicians relied heavily on herbal preparations, broths and tonics, fasting and nourishment, and seasonal eating. Because again, we did not have things like urgent care, pharmacies, and hospitals. And the goal wasn't symptom suppression. It was about restoring one's balance. The turning point and major shift happened around the late 1800s and early 1900s. And science became more evolved, let's say. As it advanced, medicine became increasingly focused on anatomy, pathology, surgery, pharmaceuticals, and acute care. This culminated in a major overhaul of medical education, most notably with the Flexner Report in 1910. Which standardized medical schools around laboratory science and biomedical research. While this improved safety and consistency, it also came at a cost. Anything that couldn't be isolated or measured easily, patented or standardized, was slowly pushed out to the margins. And those included the medical schools that continued to teach more things like holistic functional care and herbalism. So herbalism, nutrition, and traditional healing were labeled as unscientific, not because they didn't work, because they just didn't fit into the new model. And food doesn't behave like a drug. It's much more complex, because things in isolation, like a pharmaceutical, takes one constituent out of a plant, because pharmaceuticals are derived from plants, but it takes one piece of it and it standardizes it. But food and herbs work differently because you're getting the whole food, the whole plant. And it works more slowly. It interacts with the body differently and depends on person's stress, their hormones, minerals, and their digestive system. And most importantly, you can't put a patent on it. So as medical education evolved, food was reframed as basic advice, it's preventative, or something to be outsourced. Doctors weren't trained to study nutrition deeply, not because it wasn't important, but because it just wasn't considered their role. Instead, nutrition became a separate discipline, often governed by public health guidelines designated for populations, not individuals. And this is the gap so many people fall into. You're told your labs are normal. Your symptoms don't fit the diagnosis. You need to manage your stress. Or here, take another medication. But are we asked, how is your digestive system? Could you be mineral deficient? Is your blood sugar stable? Are you under eating? Are you inflamed by the foods labeled as healthy? Because let's face it, healthy food products aren't necessarily healthy at all. So people assume that, well, this just must be how I'm built. It's my genes. It's hereditary. But it isn't. Women in particular feel this disconnect. Hormones are deeply influenced by blood sugar, mineral statuses, gut health, chronic stress, and nutrient density. Yet most nutrition advice for women have been more calorie focused. We were told to be careful of the amount of fat that we consume. And oftentimes things were restrictive, or we were following a trend like on TikTok or Instagram of something new that worked, we were told, for everyone. But we are all bio-individual, and what works for me probably won't work for you. Instead of nourishing, many women are unknowingly depleting themselves while being told that they're doing everything right. This is not a personal failure. It's a systemic blind spot. Here's the reframe I would like to offer. Food is not a moral issue. It's not a trend, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. Food is daily communication with your body, and every meal sends signals to your body. It signals your hormones, your nervous system, your immune system, your gut microbiome, and your mineral reserves. When you understand that, nutrition stops being overwhelming and it starts becoming empowering. This podcast is about reconnecting the dots. And over the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk more about bio-individual nutrition, mineral balance, herbal support, women's health, and the oral systemic connections. And then, how do you build a foundation before chasing those fixes? This really isn't about perfection. It's not food rules, but really the relationship of your body and your plate. Because many times we have to look at the relationship of our food. If we're eating mindlessly, are we eating because we're hungry? Or is there some emotional something trigger there that we need to dive deeper into? Food should make us feel well. And after 30 minutes, your food doesn't make you feel well, then the food you ate is not doing well for your body. So we'll learn how to listen to our body as well. It's the beginning of a new year, and so many people are focused on getting their health back or reclaiming something about their health. Gym memberships go up, weights are purchased, so many things across the board are done with good intentions. Sadly, after about 8 to 10 weeks, those things radically decline. However, I thought this would be a good time to talk about food because it's basic and it's what our body needs as a foundation. You'll never outrun a poor diet. You can go to the gym and work out and do all the classes, but if you're eating wrong or Snickers bars or processed food, you're not going to see the results you want, and your body is still not going to be as healthy as it could be. So if you've ever felt dismissed, confused, or disconnected from your health, this space is for you. In the next episode, we'll talk about why one diet will never work for everyone and how to start listening to your body again. Until then, remember, your body is not broken. It's responding to what it's been given. And food is one of the most powerful places to begin.